What's going on, guys? We're blending. Let's get right to it, guys. Why is the holding company important, and why would you come to me for help? Number one, I'm going to give you the same strategies that this real estate law firm teaches me. So without paying the price, you're learning strategies that I realistically, legally can do. But if you walked in the average, typical CPA office, he would be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Because the average CPA is not used to people trying to do this stuff. So they don't even understand it all, even though they went to school for this stuff. You know, going to school does not give you life experience. So, number one, using me helps you get the contacts of the right law firm to work with or CPAs to work with. I'm purposely holding that information back because that's my leverage for you to want to hire me. You know, number two, I'm going to get you a reasonable amount of corporate credit. I mean, but it could turn into $1 million business. And in this video, I'm going to give you a gem on literally strategy, how you could actually do this stuff on your own with the right contacts. The only thing I'm going to hold back is the right contact companies that I work with. But this strategy could make you $1 million company. Literally, this one strategy. And cost pennies on the dollar. Let's say you take out a very, very small loan. For business loans, this is like super small. This might be considered a higher loan on the personal side. But $20,000. And if I could tell you that without doing Amazon and eBay and all this other selling all these different products and complicated stuff, this strategy where you could just take out a $20,000 loan, but you got to be careful, you know, because this is still stuff you have to pay back. So you got to be careful. You take $20,000 of your own money. You come to me or you come to work with somebody else. You set up a ironclad holding company in a state with anonymity, so nobody's even going to know you own this. Definitely do this before you get married, because there's going to be some provisions in your articles that could save you from your wife taking your entity. So $20,000. You start with obviously your holding company. You put in the bank, I would say every week, just because it just makes it's a nice round number and people get their head around it, so they're not constantly trying to do this. You send $1,000 a week, maybe a little bit more. If you can do it, do $2,000. If you could send $2,000 a week of your own money into your bank account over the course of 3-4 months, you apply to the right fintech banks. They're automatically going to give you 10, 20, 30. Some of these banks will eventually even give you $50,000 of spendable credit lines just based on your banking activity with your own money. I got this new black-owned bank that I would love to work with. I'm thinking about starting to promote them. 100% black-owned bank. You know, nothing against white-owned banks. It's just, this just happens to be a black-owned bank that really is out to save the entrepreneur on their merchant account fees. If you do have a business that you're going to be selling something. And just banking, just on this activity, just literally putting $2,000 a week into your own business bank account Eventually you're going to put the whole, whatever you got left after setting up your entity in the bank. Then you're going to set up a operating company. You're going to borrow $10,000 from your holding company that should have corporate credit, cash in the bank, $10,000. Do it again on your first operating company. That could be any kind of business. It could be a bodega, it could be a barber shop, it could be literally just a YouTube channel. You go to apply at the same exact fintech banks. You're going to get the same amount of corporate credit, if not more. Now you just made your holding company more valuable. And when you go apply for more corporate credit in 6 months, do this in 6 months increments. You go apply for more corporate credit in 6 months, your holding company is now more valuable because now they see not only you depositing money in your account, but now they see another small business put money into the account. They don't care if you own the business. They just see numbers. These banks just see numbers. They don't see it as, okay, it's me just using my own money to move around. You do this, 2 more companies, 2 more baby companies you do this with. All 4 companies should have anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000, if not more, in spendable corporate credit. Now you go buy that big investment property. You put down a large down payment. I'm going to recommend you buy it outright if you find something cheap enough. And now you can even get a home equity line of credit just on your property. But that's for emergencies. This stuff is endless, guys. It's absolutely endless. And it's not just theory, because even though I only have 1 holding company at the moment, I'm going to go on the journey of proving this stuff to you. Just for the simple fact that once I prove it to the masses in video content format, the sales will just roll in. At that point, I don't have to convince anybody else. You know, at the end of the year, my goal is to have 3 holding companies. I talk about that in previous videos. At least 1 investment property that I'm most likely going to live in. A car owned by my leasing company that I'm going to set up. Not me, but a leasing company under my holding company. And on my way to building $1 million business. And this is not even including any government funding I get. This is purely corporate funding that I'm going to do all this with. But the business funding would help. Right now, we see we can't rely on the government. I'm waiting on the EIDL grant right now. They claim that as an Uber driver, I'm entitled to $10,000 or the balance of. They gave me $1,000. So I should be seeing $9,000 from the SBA, God willing, by March. But it's the SBA. They can push that back to April, May. So we got to be starting to think about how we could build corporate credit on our own with cash. But do you see how you literally, instead of taking $20,000 and going to buy a car with that money, if you could get a line of credit for $20,000 from your bank, put it back into setting up a company that's going to build you money, pay back the loan, and could possibly make you $1 million company. I know it sounds easy. It's not that simple. It is going to take steps, and you're going to have to be patient, you know. But within 2 to 3 years, you can have a holding company scenario where you have a holding company and you also have, like, you know, 2 to 3 operating companies underneath it. The sky's the limit at that point, because you made your holding company so valuable. You literally could just call up your banker and be like, yeah, I need to take out money to go buy another $30,000 vehicle for my leasing company. they'll give it to you no PG. Because at that point, your holding company does not need your PG to acquire anything because it's got so much value on its own. And I would say that's after the 2-year mark, where you literally could like call up your private banker and say Chase, and literally have access to 20, 30, possibly even $50,000, you know, to go invest in a whole nother, you know, baby company or operating company. Or then at that point, take the 50 and invest it into a real estate deal. This is the power of having a ironclad holding company with corporate credit behind it. And I'm not going to just talk about it. I'm going to do it. I have my first holding company right now, Navy Federal. If I start any operating companies underneath this holding company, I most likely will put them in Navy Federal as well. Navy Federal is the biggest credit union in the country. They're convenient. I think probably the best customer service in the game, in my opinion. Navy Federal customer service is flawless. Absolutely flawless. If every bank customer service was like Navy Federal, we'd be, oh my God, the world would be a better place. But realistically, I'm not going to do all my business through Navy Federal. You have to have an anchor bank, is what I call, in your local state when you're doing this. And mine just happens to be Chase. So pick one anchor bank, because you may have to walk in a bank. A lot of these fintech banks aren't going to have walk-in locations. So with an anchor bank, it just means it's a bank you could walk into, put money in the account, and then from that account you can move that money to your fintech bank account. I just call it an anchor bank. So a bank that you can literally walk in that's local to you. Navy Federal is not local to me, so I use Chase to move money from Chase to my Navy Federal account. And now I have my holding company course also through Stripe going to my holding company as well. Get the course, guys. The holding company course, low introductory price. It's not going to answer all your questions. It's really just designed to give you an idea of who I am and what I could do for you, by way of structuring a holding company and actually putting corporate credit on it. That's really all it's going to do. And by setting you up with these fintech banks, we're talking the fast way. So if anybody's talking about building corporate credit, a lot of them are talking about the old school way, which is through net 30 accounts that you got to buy, like stupid magazines and stupid stuff and office supplies that you really don't want to use. And we're not talking about that. We're talking about a plan where you're using fintech banks that will report the DNB, Experian, Equifax on your business behalf, but it's just a quicker way of getting trade lines a lot faster, if that makes sense. So I want to thank you guys for your time. I want to thank you guys for your support. All my links are below. The best information is below the video. I know a lot of you guys watch YouTube on your TV, but at some point you need to log in through a laptop or a phone. Go to the drop down box, and I've got some links for Ztegrity, my holding company course, some other great information. So you want to go to the drop down box and check the links below. I do have an introductory video on my holding company course. You just go to williamblanding.com, and the link is below. williamblanding.com. Blanding spelled BLANDING. So williamblanding.com. That's going to take you to an introductory video And you're either going to decide from that video whether you end with me or not. You know, the $49 cost right now is an introductory rate, and it is going to go up as I add more content to the course. So as I improve and add more content to the course, the price is going to go up. I say get in now because you won't have to pay again. You'll be already in. So subscribe, like, comment, and I hope to catch you guys in the next video.